You can help the earth and give your local garbage collector a little bit of a break. Here to give us a lesson on how to begin a compost bin is Elise Roleff, an outreach specialist with Hamilton County Resource. Good morning.
Good morning, thank you.
So I think this is something that is not that difficult, but I think a lot of people think, gosh, there's so much that goes into it. I could never do that. But composting is not that hard, is it?
It's not that hard. It's not intimidating. I think a lot of people worry about how to do it and what to do, but all you do is put your plant-based, like fruit and veggie scraps, into a pile in your backyard or in a bin in your backyard, and then you cover them with some kind of leaves or kind of paper towels or tree-based plant scraps.
Okay,
that's it.
And then it breaks down and you end up being able to use it.
It breaks down with the help of all the worms and other bugs that kind of magically come up from the soil, and they help break it down and they turn it into those nutrients that you need for the garden.
Really cool. And let's start by, since we kind of covered what it is, how does somebody who's never done it before start? I know that there are options for people who may not want to go outside every time you've got a scrap or whatever.
Right.
You can put this on your countertop and then collect it and then take it out.
Yeah, if you have any kind of bucket, this is a fancy little bucket, you can add your kitchen countertop scraps to this collector. Let it fill up until you're ready to go outside and take it to your yard. You don't have to do it every day. You can do it as often or as little as you want. And then you put it in your backyard bin or your pile, and then you cover those food scraps with some kind of leaves or, like I said, paper towels to keep the smell down and make sure there are no pests that come in and get your compost.
So what are the things that you can put in it? And by the way, I've had one before. I know they tend to sometimes get a little stinky, so they make ones that have like the charcoal filters that help filter out the smell.
Yes, those are great.
If somebody's concerned about that, you can do that. But what are the foods that you can start adding into a compost, and what should you not?
So some of the easiest foods that you can always add to the compost are your fruit and veggie scraps, so your banana peels. Very common. I have an apple core in here. I have a paper towel here. And I also have coffee grounds and the coffee filter because it's made of paper. Okay. You can put it in the compost.
That's something I did not realize that you could put in was paper towels. So even if they're bleached, you can put them in?
You can still put them in.
Okay. And things like eggshells, are those good?
Eggshells are good. You just don't want the egg yolk in there. So things that you don't want to put in the compost are things that are going to smell pretty bad. So you don't want dairy. We don't want meat scraps or bones. All of that should stay out of the compost in your backyard specifically because you want to keep it nice and clean.
Well, and especially if you put bones and meat back there, that would attract animals
things that you don't want.
Right. Yes. So if you're putting these food scraps, do you need to cover it because animals might still want to come and try to get it? When you say cover it, what should we use?
Yes, so you have a lot of options. You could do an open pile with your food scraps, but you always want to cover them with, the best option is leaves. Covering them in leaves help balance the moisture and the dryness of the compost pile. So it helps kind of scientifically break it down a little bit better. It helps the worms and all the bugs in there do all of their work. But it's good to cover it always.
And then is this the finished compost that you can use to help your lawn, right?
Yes, so you have to be a little bit patient. It's different for everybody. It's gonna take a few months to create some good compost. And this compost is gonna be dark and soft. It's gonna have a little bit of dampness, but that's good, that's what you want. And it's going to be spread across your garden to bring those nutrients back to the soil.
So it's really not that hard. If people want to learn about this, you're offering a bunch of classes and one starts tonight, right?
One starts tonight. We have one at Deer Park Library at 6:30 p.m. tonight. And you can go on and register at hamiltoncountyresource.org.
Okay, and other classes coming up as well.
Other classes are coming up as well as a virtual option. So lots of different options for people around the county.
Hamilton County Resource. Look it up and go get your composting on. Thank you so much. And we'll be right back.
You can always find our stories here on YouTube, but go ahead and click subscribe to get notifications and stay in the know.